Thanks for tuning in. This has been a very interesting time, needless to say. We know what we've all been dealing with, and just I think everybody's tired of the lockdowns and things like that. We've been seeing people in Michigan actually rise up with guns. I haven't heard anything if they've actually used them, but they're getting serious out there. And I have to admit, even though I'm very patient, I'm like, okay, come on, it's time now. Let's get back to life as we know it. That we had before this all came about. And but there's a lot of things. There's things on YouTube that people put videos on. They're very good videos about this stuff, and YouTube takes them down. You know, and so now some of those videos are being shared on my site at shalomtube.com, and YouTube can't touch them there. And ShalomTube has, a lot of, same functionality that YouTube does and stuff like that. You can share that. Um, you can share it on Facebook. You can share it on other sites. You can share it on my site at Messiah's People too. And actually, I think on some things I have are a little bit better because on sites like Facebook before we could share a video and it would play right there. Now it doesn't do that. It creates a link, with an image of the video, and it'll take you, to wherever the video is located. And but on Messiah's People, when you share a video there, it plays right there, on the site, which I like a lot better. And we're getting people actually leaving Facebook, and coming, to the sites I have. I'll put links below the videos, below this video, so you can find my sites. And we had one video in particular about a doctor that she wasn't a medical doctor, I don't think. She's a doctor because she has a PhD in something, and but she knows a lot about what was going on. She was interviewed by this man because she actually had a gag order, and I forget exactly what her name is, but I shared that video a while back. Shared it on it was on Facebook, and before too long, and I told people, download this because I don't know how long it'll last. I kind of figured that would happen, and sure enough, poof, it was gone. And I saw it resurface. I said, okay, a lot of people, must have figured the same thing. Download it, because it is very valuable information. And a lot of those people putting it back on YouTube. And I said, well, what good is that? YouTube's going to figure out where those videos are again and remove them again. So I thought, I could just put that back on. I could put that on ShalomTube. YouTube can't touch it. So there's other people that are sharing links, to my sites and stuff, so people know where they can go to upload videos that they don't have to worry about losing. Because obviously I don't have the mindset YouTube does. Being Torah observant and following Messiah. I'm going to defend the Mishpachah. Yeah, granted, if somebody puts something really bad at, I'd have to remove it. But for the most part, I'm not a Nazi. I'm not a dictator. And even at times, like with whatever sites or groups or pages I have, and I did have to make a determination to, delete a post or delete. I gave it some thought. I'm just not quick like that. I try to have some wisdom, and I hate to write terms. Now, there are some terms in place. It has to be that way. This way, you give everybody a fair chance, give them a better understanding. But the platforms I run offer freedom with instruction, and, that's the mind of the Spirit. Because even Messiah, as serious as the Father is in obeying him, Messiah told us that his yoke is easy and his burden is light. He doesn't put a great weight on this, and, you know, um, the things the Father, tells us to do and the lifestyle He gives for us. He is very merciful. Unlike these mega sites in this world with people that are all in cahoots. With I would say gates of hell. You know what I'm talking about. They're all in cahoots, and they all kind of got the same mindset. We know who their father is. Their father is the devil. You know, because he's the god of this world. But and it's funny because I think it was about a year ago, if I'm remembering correctly, that I started ShalomTube.com. And I think it was because I just renewed that domain, and so it's good for another year because it's going to come due pretty soon. And they usually like you to renew it, like a month, before its actual due date. So it's just easier like that. So I think it's been there about a year. It's growing pretty good, and there's some really, good people on it, good clients and stuff that, seeking the truth and, you know, um, understanding things better, more videos going on there. And you can upload directly too. You can share from YouTube and from Vivo if you want to. I've got all that coded in there. And I got codes from YouTube and from Vivo, of course, that I put in there, some kind of key codes or something. And so I can do that. It's all, it's a pretty good program. I bought it from a team of developers that sell that software. And then I just basically did my own programming on it, modified it, to what I wanted on there, what I thought would suit people, well. And, I'm just one guy, so it's hard to, sit there and program, such a, large script like that. So sometimes it's better for me just to spend the money and buy it, And it would be nice if I got some donations. I don't harp on that because I do have expenses. I pull out of my pocket and just do it. It's not a business, and I'm not going to make money on it, and I don't want to make money. If it ever came to the point that by some small miracle I ever got more money than what I need, I would give it away to someone else in need. That's how my operation works. Even my web hosting company at ShalomWebHost.com, same thing. Clients, pay for their hosting plans, and have even lowered those costs, within the last year, almost in half. And so, it's working out well. And, it still costs me a bunch of money, and, anybody can donate on my sites that I have and things like that. And like I say, those donations can also help somebody to have a free website that doesn't have the money to have one. Because one of the things I have is I do have a plan that the hosting is free. Now, there is a setup charge, and that has to be, that's necessary, but it's only a one-time charge, and every plan has that, but every plan is so ridiculously low in cost that, it shouldn't bother anybody. And I'd rather do it that way rather than putting it into the hosting cost price. Because if I were going to do that, then I'm just going to raise the hosting price more, and they're just going to be paying that higher price all along. But this way, it's more fair to the clients. So, if I just put the bigger costs up in front, and then, it costs people more their first month, but then they don't have to pay anything for another year, and depending on what plan, people get, then the next year their cost actually drops in half, even though their first cost was very cheap. So you consider, like a pro account for ministry is $40 with the hosting and the setup fee. $40 for the entire year. A lot of companies want like maybe $8 to $12 a month, depending. And that adds up. You're looking at even if, let's say $10 a month, you got $120 a year. You know, and now it's not a lot of money, but I think a lot of people would rather pay $40 their first year than 120, and then the second year it drops to 20, and it stays there. A lot of companies will give you a low introductory rate, try to pull you in, and they'll gouge you later. I don't do that. I give you a low price starting out, and later you can gouge me. But that's kind of what's going on with that. I'll put that link down there too. I do have a channel for that, but I don't get on there much. Once in a great while, just to maybe post what changes are going on, stuff like that. The site was down for a while. I mean, the web pages were still on, but I didn't have the order form there. I'd been working on the server that runs in, so that's back, and it's all operational now, fortunately. But these are places, that provide a hedge of safety for the Mishpacha. Sites that are operated by a Torah observant believer. Because I care about people, and I want to give people the best. So for a long time, I never thought I would ever have a video site, and then just somewhere along the line, I started getting a vision for it and a desire to have it, and that could be the Father doing that, because Scripture tells us that it's the Father that gives the vision, and so it's really good now to have that, knowing that I was very thankful, to have that, because now it's blessing a lot of people where they can put videos on there and not worry that they're going to be taken off, because those of us who are Torah observant, following Messiah, we pretty much have the same mindset, so we're going to work together and defend one another. When the rubber meets the road, we may have some little differences, disagreements, but in all reality, we are family. And I know that when things get tough, we will fight for one another. And so this is one of the ways that I'm contributing and, giving, so that people can have websites that they can feel good about, And I have at least one of the people on Messiah's People recently, and I had another one before that I know of, because I don't hear from everybody. They've actually left Facebook altogether, other social media sites, and they're just on Messiah's People now, and Shalom Tube. And I do have YisraelBook.com also. I haven't maintained that a lot. There's been some more pressing issues, and I want to get back to that too, and I'll put that link down below the video. That does have a log in there too. It's got a small social networking site on it that I built into that, and so that's there, and I've got articles on there, and that's becoming like my main blog now. Well, like I say, it is an interactive site also, social networking and stuff. And, it looks a little bit different than Messiah's People. So that's an option, if you want to go there. And, I really do need to get in there, because I have another site. Actually, my original domain I registered in 1996. I had that kind of site on there partially. And, and I had that on a test server, and I knew it was risky. But client domains don't run on that. They run on a secure server. It's set up different. And but I got this other server. I wanted to run it as a test with a different administrative software and things like that. And that site got cracked. So I says, okay, there's a learning experience, but nothing was gone bad. I just removed it, and I had it already on the secure server anyway. I had duplicate sites. So, I just put that back up, and I actually removed the social networking aspects and blog and things like that, because I started having so many of them out there. I said, I don't need it on there. What I'll do is I'll link to my other one. So sometimes I bite off more than I can chew. So I'm trying to streamline things so that it's easier for me to manage and continue adding things to. And people can come aboard too as authors and things on these sites. If you want to get involved, with this work in this ministry, and you have writing ability, you have gifts and talents that you can contribute, feel free to let me know, and we'll talk and see what your abilities are and things like that. And see if there's a fit for you, on any of these sites, where you can do things, do a little bit more than the standard member or whatever like that. So there's a lot of good things there, a lot of good things going on, and the Father's really blessing these sites. I've been very amazed, because we know, as Scripture tells us, if it doesn't grow, the Father isn't blessing it. So this is a good thing. And but Sabbath is coming here soon. I'm not too far away from it. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Maybe hour. Days are getting longer, so I have about an hour before Sabbath comes. But I'm already in Sabbath mode long before that. And it's just, I really love everything the Father gives us, especially Sabbath. It's just a good time just to get our mind off this world, get our mind off the cares of this life and everything, and just come before the Father, serving Him. And let's continue to grow more in that. Let's continue to build one another up. If there's ever disagreements, don't write other people off. Bear with them. That's the love of Messiah, and that's what this whole ministry is about. The main site is messiahslove.com. That's the site I started with, and then added more later in that thinking. And when the Father gave me that thinking, it just opened a huge vision in my mind. And that's been, I don't know, 3-4 years now maybe, since I started that, and then started building a network of other sites, social media, video sharing site, blogs, information. Um, so the Father's good, and there's a lot in place for those of you who want to be blessed by more. I want to wish you a great Sabbath, and that the shalom of Elohim will be with you and fill you completely, that in all things His name will be glorified in each of our lives. Thanks for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Click the bell so you get notified of future videos. Stay blessed and encouraged, knowing that our Redeemer will return soon. Don't be afraid. Look up. Our redemption draws nigh. Shalom, people.